Kane Parsons definitely deserves a lot of kudos for bringing Backrooms to life, and while there was a lot to like here, I definitely did not love this movie. I think that I'm not alone in saying that this movie definitely nailed the vibe and kind of creepiness that the Backrooms gives. Taking a creepypasta as your source material is definitely a difficult job. Creating an entire world and lore to go with it. Kane Parsons is clearly a talented individual, which is why he was given a director job at age 20. But regardless of how well this movie started, I do think it did fall off in the third act. I'll be talking spoilers from this point forward, so be sure to skip to the last chapter of this video if you haven't seen the film yet. Now, I'm not a zoomer who is absolutely obsessed with the Backrooms and its lore. I have been aware of the original Backrooms creepypasta for a long time, but to take something like that and grow it into something of this scale is pretty crazy. I did check out the first Backrooms short film before watching the movie. I really like what Kane Parsons did with almost nothing. Using a tool like Blender to create an entire world and mixing it in with camcorder footage is so creative, and he deserves so many props for that. He did go on to make some more short films as well as other creative content. I've seen some of his other work, like his historical Attack on Titan stuff, and I think it's really, really cool. I do, however, think that jumping to a full feature film is still quite an endeavor. Now, I don't think I could ever personally make a movie myself, so what Kane Parsons did here at the age of 20 is amazing. He successfully translated the creepiness from at least the first short into this movie. I think that for the first couple acts, the writing was really good. I generally like the story, but again, towards the end of the film, it did kind of fall off for me. I picked up on the connection that the Backrooms had to personal traumas. I loved hearing Kane Parsons talk about his inspirations, especially with some offbeat stuff like the anime Paranoia Agent. I remember that show coming on late at night on Adult Swim and being totally creeped out as a kid, but he also gets inspiration from video games like Portal. Now, as for the film itself, I enjoyed it for the most part. I think that the vibes were there. I think that the set building was great. I think that the acting was fantastic. I really like the connection and dialogue between Clark and his therapist. I love Clark's arc from just a normal dude to someone who is absolutely besides himself by the end of the film. His therapist kind of getting attached to his issues and chasing after him was really thrilling. Most of the sequence where she's exploring the Backrooms was pretty scary. And speaking of the Backrooms, I think that they did a really good job with designing the set. Kane Parsons talked about how he originally designed the sets in Blender before handing it over to actual set designers for the film. The biggest gripe that I had with this movie was the monster. Now, I get that this monster is supposed to be like a corrupted version of the main character, but I really hate when films resort to showing the monster. And maybe this film is going to be a lot better for a younger audience, but I really just thought that the monster design was goofy and not really scary. In the first and second act, before the monster is ever revealed, you see this tall, lanky, dark shadow just in the corner of your eye, and for a split second. I think that something like that is way more effective than having the monster chase a character around for 20 minutes. The ending here also let me down a little bit. Questions weren't really answered, and I understand that a lot of it is left up to the audience, but I do wish that we got a little bit more of a solid explanation of Kane Parsons' version of the Backrooms in this film. I did think that the abrupt ending showing the therapist's broken avatar in the Backrooms was interesting. I feel like it kind of represented the traumatized side of her being stuck in the Backrooms, and of course we never really get a resolution as to whether or not she worked through these issues. Overall, I think that this movie was fun and creepy, and I'm not sure if some executives got involved and changed some story details, but for me it did have a really hard fall off in the third act. That being said, I am really looking forward to what Kane Parsons does next. I do believe he deserves another chance at another film, whether it's Backrooms or not. He is clearly a very creative mind and should be unleashed on whatever he wants to do. I gave Backrooms a 3.5 on Letterboxd. If any of you that are watching this are super ultra Backrooms fans, let me know any interesting tidbits you have about the lore. Again, I am a bit ignorant to some of the deeper lore involved in Backrooms, and I only watched the first short, so if I missed anything, I'd like to hear from you. As always, I appreciate those of you that have watched to the end of this video, and make sure you argue with me in the comments.